Hey everybody, this is Joe Abunassar with Impact Basketball, teaming up with Next Ones to provide you valuable information for your basketball career, especially for youth, in a world that's so crazy and kind of confusing sometimes. Today we're going to talk about how to choose the right club team. Every young player wants to play. We train on one side, but you have to play. In order to get better, you have to play. So how do you decide which club team is best for you? There's two ways to look at it. The first is a lot of young players want to play on the best team. They're looking for a team, parents are looking for a team that wins, that travels, and really plays at a higher level. But that's not always the best decision. The best decision would be pick the team where you fit best as a player. So that might be a team that travels and plays at a high level. It might not be. It might be a team that plays just locally. It has to fit your skills. So even myself, with a son who's gone through it and now is all the way through it, we've tried different ways. We've played him up on teams where he wasn't maybe as good as the other guys to push him, but we've also utilized the teams where he was able to handle the ball more and be a little bit more of a main player versus a role player. So, with youth basketball, players develop as they play. So if you have your son or daughter playing on a youth team where they're simply a role player, they're always going to be a role player. They'll never learn how to be one of the main players. So I think it's really important not to chase the best team or the highest level, but to chase the best fit for your son or daughter. It's not easy to do. A lot of coaches will be selling you on different benefits of being on their team, but what you really need to do is look on who's on the team, where your son or daughter fits on that team, and who they're playing. Is it enough games? Is it too many games? Some teams are playing too many games. You have to mix your training with the playing. So it's not easy, but I would really take a look at, are there 13 kids on the team or are there 8? That makes a big difference with playing time. Make sure your son or daughter is getting better. So we tell young players all the time, it doesn't matter what team you're on, what level they play at, as long as you as a player are improving every single game and being able to do the things that will allow you to improve. So many young players are training hard every day. They're getting in the gym, they're working with trainers, but then they're playing for a club team where they're not allowed to do any of the things they work on. So make sure it all transfers. Make sure your training goes together with what team you're playing on. And I think if you do that, you'll have a really successful season and improve tremendously. I think one of the things with AAU basketball, or club basketball as we call it, is when you're deciding what level to play is understanding what the levels are. So everyone wants to play on what we call the shoe circuit. There's the EYBL for Nike, the Under Armour circuit, and then the Adidas Gauntlet. And I have a really interesting past with all of that because I had a son who went through it. So my son was not a Division I future player. Good high school player, 4-year varsity player in a very good league in high school, but we didn't know exactly where to put him every year. So when you play up with the shoe circuits and the Adidas or the Under Armour or the Nike circuit, whichever you choose to do, that is absolutely the right place to play for the top level players. It's the best competition. There's no real pool play where you're blowing teams out and having easy games. Every game is hard. You have to guard. You just have to play at your best every game because, again, the best players in the country are moving into that area, into those leagues. And then there's regular club basketball, which there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually very effective for a lot of players. So with my son, he played in the Gauntlet 1 year. He played in the EYBL 1 year, and then he played out of it 1 year in his 3 summers in high school. So I think each one of them gave him a really great experience. On the EYBL and Gauntlet circuit, he was very much a role player, backing up at point guard, maybe playing 8 to 10 minutes a game, not getting to shoot the ball a lot, doing his thing. When he played on a regular club circuit, he played almost the whole game and was able to really work on his offensive game a little more freedom. And I think that's what parents really have to understand is that what are you looking for? Obviously, I have a different perspective having trained pros my whole life. I knew my son wasn't a pro. I knew that he probably wasn't a Division I main basketball player, maybe a Division III player, which he was. So that's the decision you have to make, but really important to understand what the shoe leagues are. So if you can play on a shoe league team and you can compete and play at that level, I strongly recommend it. It is the biggest stage, but it doesn't always have to be that. Don't go to one of those teams just to say you're on one of the teams if you're not playing. Make sure, as I say all the time, your biggest job is to get better every day.